I'm not making any money. This is for educational purposes only. Fair use. Fair use. Yeah. Barakatah Yahawah. Barakatah Yahawashi. I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory unto Yahawah, BaHaSham, Yahawashi, BaHaSham, Rawchaa QaDash. I'd like to give double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well. To the elder apostles, bishops in Connecticut, the bishops, the preachers, the teachers, the evangelists, and the four winds preaching in truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect, Shalom. To the Israelite foreigners who phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold. Shalom. To your sisters, Yahawah, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence. This your brother Ram Yahawah with the lesson.
Reparations? We pay reparations. What do you mean you want reparations?
Because if there was anyone we were dying to hear from about reparations, it's the great-great-granddaughter of the problem.
Our taxpayer dollars, which are mostly white people paying that, goes to, affordable housing, government programs, EBT, scholarships, DEI, you guys getting jobs. Holy let's take all that, factor in the theft, factor in the crime, factor it in the murders, and then we'll talk about reparations on this show. How about that? You probably won't like that, will you? Because you're not going to like the numbers. But we are all, frankly, exhausted.
I find it interesting that you seem to think taxpayer dollars fund scholarships, but it makes sense that you wouldn't know anything about that because you've never received one. Anyway, our tax dollars don't go towards DEI scholarships, and they definitely don't go towards reparations. And sure, they do go to programs like SNAP and affordable housing, which you seem to think is just free handouts for Black people. But statistically, white people make up the majority of Americans receiving government assistance. So if your argument is that white taxpayers are footing the bill, well, congratulations, because you're just funding other white people, because that's who benefits the most from these programs. And since you're so eager to talk about crime, theft, and murder, let's talk about that too. White people make up the majority of arrests and convictions in this country. I just think that before you talk about who deserves what, you should probably open a book that wasn't written by Charlie Kirk. That information's a good 2 months out.
So now Elon Musk is deleting people's tweets who point out FBI-proven data about white people committing crimes. This is farther proof that he does not care about free speech whatsoever. He cares about pushing his own narrative. So here's what got deleted. She says, despite making up only 28% of the USA population, FBI data shows that white men are 55% of kidnappers, 56% of rapists, 58% of mass unalivers, and you get the point. There's the rest of it. She says this tweet got deleted without any explanation whatsoever. It's because Elon doesn't want us to see the truth. For those who don't follow him on Twitter, he is constantly posting about how Black people are committing crimes against white people and that white people are oppressed. Here's the issue. These numbers are coming from official FBI data, so it's not an opinion, it is a fact, and Elon Musk is actively suppressing the truth. This should worry all of us. Elon Musk claimed to take over Twitter because he wanted to spread the truth and free speech. Everyone should be able to say whatever they want, but that's not been the case at all. In reality, he's the one that's getting to pick and choose what gets to stay on his platform and what doesn't, and obviously he's choosing the stuff that fits his own narrative. People have the right to see this data and know the truth and not be brainwashed by racist people on Twitter thinking that Black people cause all of the world's problems. This is insane.
Yeah, this is 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 8. For we can do nothing against the truth, but for the truth, right? So that's why I'm going to call this the unlikely characters, right? Because here it is, was a young Edomite chick, female, and a young Edomite male, and they're putting forth hardcore statistics, right? And the truth about it, even though they try to hide behind these false political talking points, right? But it's not working, right? For we are glad when we are weak. See, we're in a position, a unique position of being in the ghettos, the barrios, and the reservations. We're in a unique position of not having a military army, not being the richest people in the world, right? But being the richest in spirit, right? Because through that spirit, it enriched influence, infamous, right? Where we have that infamous, right? Because even though people try to, they try to make us look bad, they put like the infamous, right? Because it means basically mean you're famous for a bad thing. When you're weak, people could see through all that. You know what I mean? You know, because all the crimes are actually not done by so-called black people. You know, when you don't have a military crossing all 7 seas and 6 continents, great rob and murder through the last 500 years, even to this very day, right? It's hard. It's not hard to see when you're weak, right? It exposes these things, because in that way you could do nothing against the truth, but for the truth, right? And ye are strong, and this also we wish even your perfection, right? Because that's how these people act. Like they act like they're strong, they're in their perfection. You know, the greatest thing is being an Edomite. But as time goes on, the sun and getting skin cancers and it all reveals that you're not the greatest. You're not perfect. You're not in perfection, right? You know, the lack of compassion, right? We gave you oh yeah, but the highest amount of people that's actually on these benefits are your own people. But you want to ignore it and ignore it and ignore it. Oh, you're crime. You're criminals. You're this and that. Blah blah blah. But your people are the ones that's highest in the statistics in that too. But let's just keep ignoring it, and let's just keep, the constant bait and switch, right? Yeah, this is Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13. Say, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yahawah, BaHaSham Yahawashi, BaHaSham Rawchaa QaDash, and keep his commandments. For this is the whole duty of man, right? The Israelite man, right? The only way other nations are going to keep all the commandments is after their 1,000 years of slavery, and once they get their own lands, then you're going to be commanded to keep the law, statute, commandments in your own lands. And the Lord's going to set up men, right? Israelite men, to be kings, judges, and within your different sectors and providence. And of course, you're going to have to keep it while you're in slavery too, because that'd be the only time you get to have a break, a rest. For the power, the Most High Yahawah BaHaSham Yahawashi, shall bring every work into just judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil, right? Yeah, so this is Genesis chapter 50, verse 20, where it says, KJV says, but as for you, ye thought evil against me, but the power, the Most High Yahawah BaHaSham Yahawashi, BaHaSham Rawchaa QaDash, meant it unto good to bring to pass as it is this day, to save much people alive, right? And that's ultimately what's going to happen, man. The Lord's going to save much people alive, right? the innumerable multitude, right? Even though we're always saying 1/3, 1/3 is still going to be well, it says innumerable, right? Like almost like it's almost like you can't number it, right? It's just going to be so many. You'll be like 1, 2, 3. You know, I don't even want to count no more because, you know, which you're not supposed to count Israel anyway. But just saying, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be a great amount of people to actually be saved, but a small amount to compared to that's going to be destroyed, right? But I mean, it is what it is. As for you, you meant evil against me, but the power of the Most High, Yahawah, BaHaSham, Yahawashi, BaHaSham, Rawchaa, QaDash, meant it for good in order to bring about this present outcome, right? And that's what the Lord's about to do. He's about to make a very present outcome, right? Well, this was talking about Joseph, which were the Israelites at that time, during the time of the famine. That's what's about to happen now, right? There's nothing new under the sun. It's gonna be famine, lack of everything, but the Lord's gonna bring us out. You know, the Lord's gonna make a way. He made a way then. He'll make a way again. You know that many people would be kept alive as they are this day, right? And that's what's about to happen, man. Just plain and simple. This is Genesis 50 and 20. I'm just gonna go down to get the transliteration to save. All right.
Strong's H2421. Chaya.
Haya.
Chaya.
Yeah. Con. That remind me. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Haya. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I haven't heard that in a minute. Haya. Yeah. To live, to have life, remain alive, sustain, live prosperly. Wait, this is it right here. Live forever. Be quickened, right? That's life in a different way. That's through the spirit to have the basically the breath of life, right? The breath, the understanding, wisdom. Well, the wa too, right? The breath of life, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, to be quickened, to be alive, to be restored, to life, yeah. And that's ultimately, that's what this is, right? Or health, right? A lot of people are going to be being healed, and things is about to happen, man. Major things are about to happen. Kaya.
Strong's H2331. Chava.
Chava, to tell, declare, to show, make known, right? To breathe, right? See, the breath of life, right? I guess that was it, huh? Oh yeah, still it just went into Kaya again. Yeah, to revive, be quickened from sickness, right? You're gonna be, hey man, Lord, it's about to be about to be saved, But we're weak, we're nothing. But people are seeing, I mean, the obvious, but you could do nothing against the truth, but hey, but for the truth, right? Yeah, so this is Luke chapter 1, verse 71, that we should be saved from our enemies, right? Esau, Edom being the number one enemy that we need to be saved from, being that they're putting, right, military in these cities, right? And from the hand of all that hate us, right? Starting with Esau, right? But these other nations, they hate us. Go to Psalms 83. It gives you the list of these enemies. They basically made their own. Even though they beef with each other, the one thing they're in agreement with is to come against the Israelites, right? And especially those of America, right? From this part of the world, because, well, hey, the truth came from the West, and it's through the unicorn, it stirred up, it shook up the entire world in the Orcamene sense, right? Because people are out prophesied, teaching, right? And the truth is out there, and the unlikeliness of characters are actually pushing forth, right? Though we are weak, right? Yahawah BaHaSham Yahawashi is strong. Though these people play like they're the greatest, they're this, they're the top. Hey, but look, it only proves we don't have a great military. We don't have this. We don't have that. So on and so forth. Right? Right? You said we're we live in the ghettos, the barrios, and the reservations, but somehow, though we're in these low conditions, which bringing people into such depravity, things are going to happen. But you're in your kingdom, and you're still at a higher rate. But you try to hide that. You try to point out and put the movie. That's why you always make these movies and these certain TV shows, and you be thinking, dang, Jake making money. You're letting these certain Jakes, token Jakes, to make money, so that way you can make it look like all so-called black people are that way. But then if someone mentions that about you, especially the you-ish, right? The JOOs, right? No, you need to say that man's a bad businessman. You need to say that one person is this and that. You can't say it's all so-called. But wait a minute. But you own everything. It is all these different. I'm saying, for me to point out the truth, it's wrong, right? The Lord said you should know them by their fruits. If this businessman is wrong, this businessman is, and you all happen to be JOOs, whatever is the problem? But we get it, because you're trying to say you're us, but the scripture said that we will be a byword and a proverb, and there's nothing we could do about that. We won't be able to sanction people, do council culture on them, having power that you can make someone lose their money because they say something on us. So that in itself proves that you're not the people of the book, right? Because it said the people of the book will be weak. We don't have any power to do those things, right? And anything else tells you what? Any great crime, there's great wealth. So who has the most wealth, right? And what's the greatest crime that's ever been known to man? The identity theft of the Israelites, man. Saying that you're a people that you're not, and in taxing the world because of it. So every nation has to pay some type of taxation because you're saying that you're the people that you're not, right? Right? It says to perform the miracle, to perform the mercy, so like it, the mercies promised to our Father, to our fathers, and to remember his holy covenant, the oath which he swore to our father Abraham, showing you that he's speaking to the Israelites, man. Right? Because when it went from Abraham, it went to Isaac. The promise went from Isaac unto Jacob, which is our fathers, right? In fact, let's see if it's that he would grant us that we would grant unto us that we, being delivered out of the hands of our enemies, might serve him without fear, right? And that's man, we in fear every day. Anytime a black and white get behind us with them red and blue lights, with the black and whites, the contrast of so-called good and evil, right? The blue and the white, the white, yeah, the blue and the red and basically white lights represents this Edomite culture, the system, Egypt, right? Oppression, right? You know, the contrast to make you think there's this democracy and there's this thing and you get to vote, and when there's no such thing as any of that, those are all fabrications and disillusions, lies, right? To make it seem like it's all fair, but you can see it's not all fair. If here it is, people are pushing out the facts, and you know, because you're powerful, because you're a billionaire and you have a platform, you come in and take it off the platforms so you could push forth your narrative, right? You know, yeah. So this is Psalms 106 verse 10, and he saved them from the hand of him that hated them, right? In that time, that was the Pharaoh, right? But now Trump is the modern day Pharaoh. He's the king of Babylon, right? You know, these Edomites, they hate us, right? And redeem them from the hand of their enemy. And that's ultimately what we're looking for, right? That salvation. You're not saved until this happens, until you're saved from the hand of them that hate you, right? You're not saved already, right? Those are our hopes. We hope to be saved. Yeah, right. Psalms 118 verse 17. He delivered me from my strong enemy, right, which is Esau, Edom, at this point, right, and from them which hated me, for they were too strong for me, right? You have all these things, but then it's not really working for you. You got all the data, the machines, the you know, the technology, but what you're doing is working for the good of the righteous, man. Right? People are starting to see it. Right? Right. So this is 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 9. And he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. See, it said we're in a low condition. So we're in a good place though, right? When the hoods, the ghettos, the barrios, the reservations, right? We're in a good case. You know, they meant it to be for evil. They meant it to be for our destruction. But you know, it's to keep you level-headed, right? You're not too puffed up. Or at least that's what it's most supposed to be. Even though some jakes, you know, they get there, you know. They get, you know, they love this life, you know. The pride of this life, as the scriptures say. Yeah, but there's nothing to be proud about, right, in this life, right? Yeah, the Lord said, my grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Most gladness, therefore, will I rather glory in my infirmities, right? And brothers have different infirmities, different things that's going on, right? You know, but the Lord is about to change all that, like perfection, healing, right? Man, things is about to turn around, you know, that the power of Hamashiach, right, which is Yahawashi, may rest upon me, right? And it's the thing that just keeps getting you through. You keep just getting your daily bread. You keep seeing things happen, chariots and things that just boost your faith, right? Because really, you don't. Without that, you don't have nothing to look forward to. But the Lord constantly shows you things to boost your faith, to keep you going. You know, these scriptures, man. There's this comforter keeps you going, keeps your faith, right? So therefore, I take pleasure in infirmities, right? That's crazy to think like that, huh? Like, you take pleasure, not that you're glorying, but it's saying, look, if the Lord's gonna get me through this, I just gotta go 10 more feet, and I'm gonna make it. That's all you gotta do. A couple more, and we're gonna make it. We're almost. You just gotta keep thinking. The finish line is there. It's like that mentality, like I don't know if it's Apostle Sahar or Apostle Gabar, but I think maybe they both mentioned. They mentioned about being like a marathon runner, and when you hit that wall, you have to get past that thing because you're most likely you're at the halfway point, and you just have to kick it in gear and keep going. And as you keep going, you forget that you're exhausted. All you're thinking about is the finish line now, right? And that's where we have to get to, Lord willing. You know, starting with myself first, but you know, we all get to that point where we're way past exhausted. We're just thinking about the finish line. You know, and that's the prayer I have for all you brothers and sisters that's in this, you know, that's truly sincere in this walk of faith. That you know that, hey, we're just thinking about the finish line. Yeah, we're in infirmities. We have things where we're the all scouring of the world, off scouring of the world. But we're almost done, right? The finish line is close, right? In reproaches, yeah. See, we're always in reproach to these people, man. Even if they got to make up something, as you could see, you know. But the unlikeliness of characters are seeing. People see things, man. See, being that we're weak, people could see. Hey, these people ain't got it. Like, come on, look at that. So you people, you're lying. These are FBI statistics. This is statistics according to your own thing, showing that you are the one that's majority on the SNAP and the housing assistance, and then you're trying to look down on someone else. See, yeah, you could do nothing against the truth but for the truth, right? It says in reproaches and necessities. Saying that's a good place, man. That's really a good place to be, because all you need is necessities, right? Nothing to puff you up. As long as we got what they used to call the bare essentials, you got the necessities that you need. You get your daily bread. You're able to make it, which that's what the Lord does, constant. That's why they're trying to do something to throw it off. Let's take away the pennies. Let's take away this. Let's say that nursing, you know, if you got a thing, it's just a what is it called? Right, but basically they're saying it's no longer a profession if you just have a bachelor's, right? That ain't good enough no more, right? Anything they could do, right? And persecution, see, and that's part of persecution right there. And distresses, right? They're trying to distress you as far as the money and financial situation. They're trying to stress you with that. Stress you with putting military all over the cities, you know, all sorts of things, all ways to stress you out, right? Make up fake statistics and have these people end up, you know, and through their algorithm push these people to so-called stardom and let their false narrative be pushed. And then even here, this what perceived to be an Edomite, she's saying, hey, that's old BS, and it was fake anyway. That dude CK was bringing out, right? Some old narrative, and see, your own people are seeing it. See, you know, your own tongue is falling upon you, as the scriptures say, right? And distresses for Hamashiach's sake, for when I am weak, then I am strong, right? See, and other people are standing up for you. That's strength. When the unlikeliness of characters stand up for you, that is strength. That's all praises to Yahawah, BaHaSham, Yahawashi, BaHaSham, Rawchaa QaDash. I'd like to give double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well. Right? To the elder apostles, bishops of Connecticut, the bishops, the preachers, the teachers, the evangelists, and the four winds, preacher in truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect, Shalom, to the Israelite foreigners who phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold. Shalom to you sisters, yahawah, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence, and a Baba Ball and Kwam Yasharallah. A Baba Ball and Kwam Yasharallah.